Hello everyone and welcome back to the Yggdrasil Roadshow with me, Alexander Lapiniemi. Today we're gonna have a look at the August releases, talking to the producers and checking what the games are all about. It's gonna be really good stuff. We have some really awesome games coming up. So really looking forward to that, to go into the source and to dig deep in what is up behind this production. Super awesome stuff. In front of us now, we see the roadmap for August, September, and October. And I want to make a special shout out for what's going to happen in September, which is the Yggdrasil Legends network campaign. It is a massive campaign with a prize pool of 100,000 euros. And this is the prize drop mechanic, which means that the players can win on any spin. There is no, missions, or you don't really need to have all the games live. I mean, you can have one game and it will work perfectly fine. It's a free promotion for your players inside the game. Everything is done pretty much automatically and with zero hassle, all for your players to enjoy. So do make sure you are opted in. If you're not sure, if you have any questions at all, just speak to your point of contact at Yggdrasil, your account manager, key account manager, whoever you know. Throw them a question, send them a buzz, and make sure you are not missing out, because that's going to be super mega awesome for sure. Looking at the panel of the day, we have Yggdrasil very own Sebastian Belton. He's going to talk to us about Shaker Club and also Enchanted Waters. Really nice looking games. And following that, we have Henry McLean from For the Player. He's going to talk about 10,000 BC, going back in time to see what is up with the stuff going on there. That's going to be awesome. And last out of the day will be Frank McPolin himself from Bang Bang. It's going to be talking about Romans. It's a really cool game, probably about Romans, as you can guess from the name, with the Ultra Nudge feature. Bang Bang's super duper mega nice feature there. So yeah, stay tuned and let's get into the contents. All right, welcome back to the Roadshow, the all-time superstar, Sebastian Belton. It's good to have you here on the show once again, my friend. How are you?
I'm very well, thanks, Alex. Surviving this amazing summer heat that we're getting down here. So I'm sure a lot of people over the areas of Europe are currently experiencing this in exceptional heat wave that we're having right now.
Yeah, don't get me started. I mean, we actually here in Malta, we get out of it just now. It's like the difference between today and a couple of days ago. It's like 14 degrees. So I'm enjoying a nice 30 degrees now, and like a couple of days ago it was like 43, 44. It was too much. Power outages.
It's always crazy when you say 30 degrees is more easy to deal with. 30 degrees still hard for me to deal with.
I mean, 30 degrees is nice, like you can be in the sun. You don't really start sweating like a crazy person in a sauna. It's like it's doable. But 40 degrees plus, like then you go out, you are just soaked right away. It's like it's raining, but it's raining from the inside, if that makes any sense.
Absolutely.
Oh, I love that. You coined a new phrase there, rain from the inside. That's what heat wave is all about. Okay, weather talk aside, although very interesting to talk about the weather, let's move on to some other things, because I can tell that you are in somewhat of a bar setting, a club.
I am. I'm in the Shaker Club.
You're in the Shaker Club indeed. Very nice. Which is the game we're gonna have a look at here first off. So I guess we can have a look at the game and get into the gameplay. What say you?
Yeah, let's get in straight into the gameplay, Alex. Okay, everyone. This is Shaker Club. This is going to be the latest release from our own studios. As Alex, as we discussed briefly, this is a bar scene kind of summer vibe bar slot. And the premise is really very simple. In fact, the base game, as you can see, the shaker over on the left represents a random multiplier that you get for the game. Every time you spin, that multiplier has a chance of going anywhere up to 250x your stake. Sorry, 250x on the bonus for the win, for wherever you win. Obviously, the likelihood here is, often you'll either not get a shaker adjustment at all, or you're probably going to get in the sort of, anywhere up to the 50x fairly regularly. You see it fairly often. Or if you're very, very lucky, you might get that 250x spin that will turn up in the base game, which is really nice. Just having it there as a potential is an exciting prospect. But, the concept of the game is really very straightforward, and the game was designed with that in mind for our customer base. We wanted to create a slot that had a very straightforward bonus that is instantly understandable without the necessity to read through the details of the slot. The customer can jump straight in and get right into the actual meat and potatoes of the experience. Obviously, there is the free spins, obviously, which we're going to mention momentarily. But the differences in that are mainly based on the multiplier structure that is on the base game. As you can see as well, the slots, we've made an effort to make the visuals feel very summary. We've got a lot of the high-paying symbols are represented as cocktail drinks, and it gives that kind of lovely summary vibe with the background there with the people sort of mixing in. As you can see, we're going into the free spins now. A minimum of 3 free spins scatters to trigger free spins. But what's interesting is the actual free spins are always the same value. They're always 10 free spins, but the multiplier is what is adjusted. So you can see here we've got 4. So we starting point of 10x, but you can gamble up to the maximum, which is 25x. The reason for this is the multiplier, which is the main premise of the free spins, and is what represents the how much you're going to potentially win. Gives you a head start in the multiplier. Now, the great thing about this multiplier is that it goes up every spin, irregardless of a win or not. So you're basically on a headline to the 250x here. We will hit 250x guaranteed. Whether we get wins on it or not that's the determining factor. The obviously high volatility of this slot, to experience that, you need to get lucky with the high numbers here. What you're really hoping for is a 5 of a kind of a high paying symbol as you hit those high numbers, because the values can really jump up on these last couple of spins. But as I said, you are guaranteed at least to get the multiplier to appear. It's really hitting those the win values at the same time by getting up to 5 of a kind, or anything really of high paying symbols will net you some really good cash rewards at the end here. So you can see we're up to 200x and those numbers are jumping up. We've got a €1 win. It's boosted us up to €200 there, which is really a nice experience. Big pay wins. So we hit the 250x here, and you see we didn't get a win. So you can see this is what the kind of experience you get there. It's 625 euros win there.
Okay, thank you so much for that presentation, Seb. Lovely, neat looking game, simple, straightforward. It's all about the multipliers, get the high paying symbols. Yeah, it's very easy to get into the game, as you said. And I guess that's kind of the main selling point of the game, to have something very easy to get into. It's not a whole lot of different complications in there. A lot of players, they really enjoy this. They can right away see, okay, that's a multiplier. I want that to be a high multiplier. Oh, there's the free spin symbols that explicitly says free spins as well, which is another, it's follows this red thread, right? Simplicity. Even the symbols say what they are, which I really enjoy. But let's dig in a little bit into the game here. Let's start talking about the theme. So obviously, like, we're in a cocktail kind of club here. So in the development, can you give some insights into what brought this theme on? And together with the simplicity, was there a thought behind it? If you could share some insights.
So obviously, the game is developed for like a summertime period. It's a bar scene. It's something that people will relate to during the summer period. Heading out having a great time in the summer heat. We've got the images there of, as I mentioned during the game, of the the cocktails and such. And it's been created with that in mind to sort of be an exciting summer themed slot for our customers, and to really vibe with that while they're playing the slot and experiencing that alongside
awesome
the game.
Would you say that I am dressed for Shaker Club? Is this the right shirt to wear?
Absolutely. I mean, you got the whole summertime vibe going there with the shirt. So yeah, you'd fit right in with that kind of model at the moment. So yeah, maybe Shaker Club's right up your street as well, Alex.
Awesome stuff. Dressed for success, as they say. Awesome stuff. Let's talk a little bit about the math as well here. So in terms of volatility, where are we with this game? It's a highly volatile game, or was it?
Yeah. It's up there in the volatility. Reason being, obviously, if you're looking at the bonus round there, it's really dependent on how lucky you get with the placements on the multiplier wheel. The closer you get to that high number, it's really deterministic on whether you get the 3 of a kind, 4 of a kind, 5 of a kind. And even if you were to get 3 of a kind and a high value, like a high paying symbol on the 250, you're going to go home quite happy with that. That's going to be a good result. But obviously, if you get 5 of a kind of the high paying symbols, you're going to be doing cartwheels, because that'll be an excellent result. So I think for people that enjoy that kind of round experience, it is quite exciting, because you don't know what kind of result you're going to get in there, and I think that's the main pull of the title, and the thrill of the gamble on this particular game.
But how is it with if you compare the base game potential to the bonus round? Is it heavily weighted towards the bonus round? Is that where the magic happens, or can you also get some interesting stuff happen in the base game?
I would say that the bonus round is obviously complementary to some of the RTP, but just because of the huge variance in the payouts. And obviously, if there are potentials to pay out big there. But having said that, as I mentioned in the base game, they do have that 250x bonus available in the base game. It's just not as likely to appear. Whereas in the free spins round, as long as you get that 25x starting point, you can get right up to the 250x guaranteed every time. It's whether you land a winning value, which you could say is equally the same for the base game. You might get that 250x to appear, but it really is, again, dependent on whether you land a winning value on it or not.
Yeah, awesome stuff. And talking about player demographics, I mean, we kind of really, just to sum it up, I guess this is a game for the player that likes simple games that are heavy hitting, in essence.
Yeah, I mean, it's a vibe as well. So, I mean, as I mentioned, like, people are wanting to enjoy the summer. Maybe they're sitting in their holiday with their phone on the beach or by the pool, and they log into their favorite casino, and they see Shaker Club, and they're like, it's a bar theme. It's got that summer vibe. I got my cocktail here, sitting on my little sand lounger, and a little game of Shaker Club at the same time. But obviously, as you said, it appeals to the same sort of things that you mentioned as well. Like people that are interested in thrilling wins on the bonus round, and it's an all-round simple game to understand and get into with ease.
Yeah, perfect to get into in the pre-party before you head out to the Shaker Club, playing Shaker Club. Awesome stuff. Okay, not to forget, there is a bonus buy in this game, and I do believe it's 100x buy, simple, just one level, or is there multiple levels here, or was it just the one level?
There's actually multiple levels. There's two 8 free spin models, which will start you at the maximum multiplier of 25, and one that will give you a random multiplier. So there's those two options there if you want, and obviously the base one, as you mentioned, is 100x with the maximum multiplier starting at 600x your base stake.
All right, that's really cool. A juicy 600x buy-in, but then you get the really hard-hitting multipliers, which is kind of the essence of the game. So
absolutely.
Tilt.
I mean, you could easily get that on just the final spin alone. To be quite honest, the excitement. Obviously, it's always a gamble with the buy bonuses, but that 600x could easily get paid off just from the 250x at the end if you land a big hit in win.
I mean, definitely, I would say so. Okay, I'll let that be the closing words to Shaker Club. And you are actually on the next game as well. So let's go straight into that one. Enchanted Waters coming up.
Let's head in. Let's head into the waters. Okay, everyone, welcome to Enchanted Waters, a blockbuster game. Well, we hope to be a blockbuster game for us here at Yggdrasil. As you can see, it's a very colorful slot, very kind of, very vibrant and, great visuals. You can see here, I'm going to start going into the actual mechanics here. You can see we've got 2 scatters, which are the mermaids. They give a respin when you get that. Where you get an expanding wild, as you saw there, and the avalanche system, which is the process of similar to like Raptor in a double max process. And once you finish that, the game returns. You see this one is a low paying symbol, and we get that respin active with the multiplier. So this was the multiplier and low paying symbols, and we got an additional spin. So when you get that, you get the additional respin. This is kind of the main mechanic of the slot. There's a lot going on here, obviously. It's a very exciting prospect. I genuinely feel this mechanic is very, very strong. And already we've had a lot of very positive feedback on it. But yeah, it's an engaging tool, having those different mermaids. In the free spins here, you can see we can get them in one and 3. You get the free spins, but in the 4th reel, you can get the mermaids that count as the free spin. You can see here we got all 4 of them, which means we will enter the free spins with all of the bonuses active. This is the ideal scenario. It's great to showcase this here. So we have the avalanche system, the random multipliers, expanding wilds, and no low paying symbols. So this one can really generate very, very big wins. The excitement factor on this is really, really top tier for a mechanic. And it's just a tour de force of slot making. I can't say anything better than that, really. Obviously the process on this is a bit different. You can enter into it with just 1 mermaid, and that will still, you'd have that 1 active, and then you can activate more during the free spins. Obviously, you can see the free spin symbols there providing additional re-triggers to continue the game further. The crab down in the bottom left is showcasing the current free spin value. But as I said, you can get just the 1 mermaid for the free spins, and you could go in there with just, let's say, the no low paying symbols, and then during that period you could then activate other mermaids during that process, and then they would also be active for the duration of the free spin. So you could get it on second free spin, you could get the expanding wilds, and then those expanding wilds would be prevalent for the duration of the free spins, and then you can keep adding until you've got all 4 active in this, which is in this current process here. We're enjoying the benefit of all of those mermaids being activated at once. It's obviously can generate some really exciting experiences for the customer. And we envisage this game to do extremely well across all European markets. So if you guys don't have this one currently planned into the roadmap, I would highly recommend the consideration of including it, because as I said, I think this is a strong mechanic and one that will do very well. So as you can see, we're still going through the free spins module here. We've got 7 free spins to go, so it's a really big experience. But those expanding wilds are really showing off here with how well that they can generate those wins. Those cash values will just keep coming. And obviously, if this was myself playing, or if you take it from yourself and look at the experience here, the big wins just keep on coming. And that avalanche just mixed in with the no low paying symbols, those high paying symbols constantly just flashing up. It's just like a barrage of just big wins. And that's something, like as I said, that the customer can expect with every experience when they're playing it. The free spins, obviously, as well, the re-triggers are quite generous. I've playing this, I know this is obviously the perfect example where you get all 4 appearing, which obviously is extremely rare, but those free spin re-triggers are quite generous in the game. You can expect to see them fairly often. But yeah, obviously the chance of getting 4 mermaids at the end is exceptionally rare, but 1 to 2 very reasonable, with the chance of getting additional ones during the actual round is very, very there's a perfectly possible chance of that happening. So as we edge towards the free spins, a few more things I would like to know. Obviously, the aesthetic value of the slot here is really top tier. We've spared no expense with the animations and the visuals, and I feel like the overall aesthetic of the game reaches a wide branching demographic, and the penetration there will be across various different types of casinos. So I think it would do very well in bingo as much as it would do in a sports casino. It's got that wide range to it as well, which only adds to the allure of the slot overall. So I hope watching this, you feel exactly the same way as myself, and furiously adding it to your roadmap, which would be a great addition to your portfolio. Thank you for watching, though, and I hope you enjoyed the presentation.
Thank you so much for that, Seb, and furiously adding it to the roadmap. I just love that phrase. I'm gonna ask operators to please furiously add this to your roadmap, because this is a really good game.
Yeah,
well,
it's a good one.
Yeah. Oh man, I gotta say the vibes of this game is like so nice. I just wanna go for a swim, man. Like you really like after we're done here today, I'm just gonna go straight out to the sea and just dive in and just be a man mermaid. What is a man mermaid?
A man-made.
I'm gonna go into the sea and be man-made.
It's a merman, I think it is, not a man-made.
Man-made. Oh man, you are on fire today, though. That's
Oh
excellent.
dear, oh dear.
Excellent comment, the man-made. No, so on the theme here, like I think, it really puts you in a nice mood, like, and you just want to go, deeper and deeper into the enchanted waters to, dive for the real treasure, right? I think that's where we are at. But give me some input here on the theme, like what's behind the theme, the mechanics, how did it all come together from a development perspective?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be careful on how I word this, because obviously, it's a public videos. But I think some people might put together where some of the, the inspiration for this slot has come. It looks like some other popular cartoons that you might see out there in the visual, in your films and stuff. But obviously, it has a very positive kind of visual to it. As you said, conjures up elements of holiday and summer and good feelings, and I think that's one of the reasons it makes it good. Obviously, the mechanic, you can see how overly enthusiastic I am about it, because I genuinely think it's just an awesome mechanic that they've invented here for the game. But on top of that, the aesthetic is just on point. It's the right time of the year, it's the right kind of vibes, it's the good time of feeling. It just all comes together to make that really impactful kind of experience for customers, and I think it will I hope that it will resonate with them when they play it on its release date.
Yeah, definitely. I hope so. It sure does resonate with me, and I do think even if I saw this game in winter, like it will still be nice, as I would be thinking, why not escape to a nice place with enchanted waters and deep treasures? I mean, that's awesome. But
rather than be freezing, yeah.
Rather than be freezing.
You never know.
Okay, let's talk about the kind of the math model of the game here, and the potential. So speaking of volatility, we are on the high volatility scale here, and as I would assume, you have base game potential, but I guess the real juice is in the bonus round. Is this generally what we're seeing here with Enchanted Waters, or is there anything to add to that specifically?
Yeah, I mean, Enchanted Waters, again, like you said, we're renowned here at Yggdrasil for our high volatile games. We are branching out into other volatilities, which we'll probably see in the coming months, and moving into 2024, we'll be seeing a more larger variety. But at this particular moment, again, it is a high volatility experience. I think it goes without saying that those mermaids coming in, depending on how many you get, can determine really impressive wins, and just a visual kind of experience as well that goes along with that exhilarating feeling of winning big returns. It's almost, dare I say, it's even got like a streamer-esque vibe to it. I could see this appearing on Twitch, and just being a blast for people playing it. and the customers to watch. People, people watching Twitch would be really excited by the kind of potential big wins that this game can conjure up. So it's just got a very wide ranging reach in terms of the experience. Obviously, if you're the only people that might not want to play it would be people that like extremely low volatility slots, that like the constant return. But as far as people that like high octane wins, it's always going to appeal to them. But I also think that just to add that onto that it's still a really good experience across the board. As you saw in the base game, it's not empty. There's nothing going on. You can still get those mermaids to give you those respins with additional potential respins that you can continue to give you those kind of off the cuff big wins that you can get. So I think there's something there for everyone.
Yeah, awesome stuff. And I think that's pretty good closing phrase there. There's something in there for everyone, and I will leave it at that. So thank you so much for featuring here once again on the Roadshow, Seb. And I am sure to see you next time as well. So
absolutely, always a pleasure, Alex. Always a pleasure.
Until then, have a good one. All right, welcome back to the Roadshow. Henry McLean from For the Player. It's good to have you here again, my friend. How are you?
Hey, Alex. Yeah, it's great to be back.
Awesome stuff, awesome stuff. And today we're going to travel back in time, quite far back actually. And we're going to see what happened 10,000 BC. Isn't that right?
Yep, we are indeed. We're going back to 10,000 BC, Double Max, which is our exciting game coming out on the 10th of August. So let me show you the game.
Awesome, let's get into it.
The first thing you'll probably guess by the name and also by the splash screen is it's the first game to ever combine Gigablocks and Double Max. So the great thing about that is the players have got all the visual excitement of the Gigablocks landing, and then also the Double Max multiplier on the side, ramping up the excitement. The other thing the players are really listening for is the mammoth roar in the background, but you'll hear about that in a minute. So as you can see, we're now spinning. It's a cascading game, so as you're getting your nice wins, they're cascading out, and your multiplier on the side is going up and up. As the name suggests, and if you don't know Double Max, it doubles every time you get a win and goes up and up and up. The really good thing about it is the players can see the potential because you've got the Double Max in the background. So you can see, for example, at the moment we're times 16, but you've got times 64 just behind you, so hopefully that win will keep going up and up and up. The good thing about the Gigablocks being in the Double Max is because they're really big spaces. So one of those blocks cascades out, creates really big space for more things to fall down, hopefully creating more wins, and that multiplier goes up and up and up. It's quite a volatile game, as you can probably guess by the fact we've combined these two features. The Gigablocks are quite volatile themselves, so when you put the Gigablocks with a Double Max, it creates quite a volatile baby. But we have tried to make sure it's not too kind of pull your arm off. There is quite a kind of good balance in there, so there's quite a lot of base wins, as you're seeing now, so we're doing quite well. So we're up to 512, and we've got 1,024 in the background. Let's see if we can kind of keep climbing up to that really nice win. The other thing you're looking for, there we go. So we hit 1,024, not bad at all. As a player myself, I think that'd be quite exciting. So there's one of the bonus scatters you can see. That's what you're looking for. You want 3 or more bonus scatters to trigger those free spins. Oh, here comes the mammoth. We just heard him. There we go, there we go. So that was a mammoth explode. Every time the player hears that, well, kind of like that, the mammoth will come out and do something. He'll either hit the wheels, which will make an explosion, or he'll do a shuffle, which will shuffle around into a guaranteed win. Fans of For the Player might kind of recognize that feature because we had something similar in 90k Yeti and 7 gold Gigablocks. And players really enjoy the interactivity because basically this is just a really nice in-wheel feature that keeps them kind of entertained and keeps them kind of going until they're waiting for that bonus. So we're not doing too badly now. We're having quite a few nice wins and we're kind of cascading. Hopefully we'll get to the next kind of mammoth excitement in a minute. Let's just keep spinning and see what we get. So now on times 4, times 8. Come on, keep going, 5 of a kind. Okay, quite happy. The other thing that's good about this game is that when you do get into the free spins, the Double Max multiplier. Oh, here we go again. Brilliant. So that was, okay, another explode. Okay, he's teasing us now. We want to show you the shuffle. So hopefully he'll come back in a minute. He's run back to the trees in the background, you can see. We're getting created a nice little win for the player. We're only on €1.40, and that was not a bad little win. Because it's a cascading game, you can see the total win we do at the end of the cascade. Because sometimes on cascading games, the player can be, here he is, just as we were saying. There's the shuffle we wanted. So the shuffles just come in, rearrange the symbols and turn them into a nice win. Like I was saying about that total win, the reason we did it is because some players find cascading games a bit confusing, because when they kind of things are popping, like win, 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 well, what's my total win? What if I actually won? So we thought kind of it's good to have a nice little thing that pops up at the end of the cascade saying your total win for that cascade was this, to make it much clearer and more kind of informative for the player. So now hopefully we'll get the bonus. So what we're looking for, like I said, is 3 of those scatters, which hopefully will land shortly. Out comes Mr. Mammoth again. He's really kind of playing with us today. Creating a nice cascade. Okay, that one was a shuffle. Hopefully he'll shuffle in some of those scatters, so we'll get to our nice bonus. If not, we've got the golden bet. So the golden bet's really good, because what the golden bet does is actually half the amount of average spins to get the bonus. So the average on this one is 315 to get the bonus, which is not as far as some other games, but it is slightly far because it is such a volatile bonus. But with the golden bet on, which does increase your bet slightly, it goes to 1 in 5/7, 157 at the average, which is very low for this kind of volatile game. So maybe after this spin, let's kind of turn on the golden bet, and hopefully that'll kind of bring the bonus in for us. We're not doing quite bad, lots of activity. As you can see, it's a very active game and a very fun game. With all of our games, we try and make sure the base game's up. Here we go. The 3 scatters and now came on. So we've won 7 free spins. And the great thing, like I said earlier, is that with every spin, the double max multiplier goes up and up and up. It's not like on the base game where it's only every win. Every spin, your multiplier is going up. So the potential for this bonus round is huge. You can also see we've been transported to kind of a different place. We're now in a kind of dark, the volcano's going off. In fact, the volcano behind me, he's going off in the free spins, and hopefully this is where the player really gets the excitement and the kind of wins they've been waiting for. But then, like I said, there's still quite a lot of fair wins in the base game as well. So times 16, come on. You can also get the mammoth can come out in this as well. He's hiding in the background behind the wheels, and hopefully he can still come out to play in the free spins as well. The feedback from this game from players and people we've shown it to so far has been amazing. Lots of people are very excited to see this combination, because you've got the Giga Blocks on the wheels and then the multi-max on the side. So yeah, it's gone down very well so far. Okay, keep going. Come on, 3 spins left. 128 with a 512 just looming in the background. Last 3 spin. Okay, not too bad. Yep, and that's the game. That's 10,000 BC double max. Hopefully you liked it.
Thank you very much for that presentation, Henry. You are on fire today. Very good stuff. You even gave us a few sound samples of your own there.
Yeah, my mammoth roar. Trust me, that's not my voice in the game. We do actually have professionals.
Yeah, but that's good. Listen, I think that's awesome that you're showing your mammoth side. Very good. Okay, 10,000 BC, a volatile baby, as you said. Very cool. I'm really interested or intrigued, and I'm mostly looking forward to seeing how the double max and gigablocks will play out together, because obviously it's like 2 very successful mechanics, and combining them I believe creates a very interesting synergy. So could you tell us a bit the work behind here, from your end, when you decided to combine these? I mean, I can see that there's a challenge mathematically, I guess, to make that work, but also kind of to weave it in with a theme as well. So if you could just share some insights on the development here using these 2 mechanics.
Yeah, sure. So we've worked quite a lot with Gigablocks before. People that know For the Player will know 90k Yeti, Gigablocks, 7 gold Gigablocks. So we thought, let's revisit Gigablocks, but let's do something different. We like to innovate and kind of do things differently. And Double Max is very popular. Games like Raptor Double Max still very popular. And we thought, why not try and do kind of a Double Max game, but then do Gigablocks as well? When we first came up with the idea and the kind of brainstorming, Andrew, our CEO, who's also the mathematician in the company, he kind of had a bit of a heart attack and was like, guys, no, this is far too volatile. We can't do this. There's no way. And we were like, come on, there must be a way to make it work. Let's kind of think about it. And he came back to us and said, right, I found a way to make it work. It'll be okay.
Wow.
And we were like, great, let's do it. And then we started kind of talking to customers about it, going, right, we're going to combine these two things. And the feedback kind of straight away was, this is an amazing idea. Players love double max, they love gigablocks. Like I said at the beginning of the call, like the fact that you've got those two visual things to the player, you can straight away see the potential. And all the reviewers that we've shown it to, the streamers, they've all said it's amazing. And almost like it's a match that's made in heaven that kind of should be there all the time.
Yeah, that's really good. I really like the way you kind of worked that through. And I mean, I understand why he had a heart attack, because obviously, you know, it's quite a challenge to fit these two mechanics that are, you know, that takes up a lot of RTP with these mechanics. So to have them both in, you need to be a wizard, and this is a true wizard's work. And this is why I am so excited to you know, to see how this game performs, to play myself, and to hear more feedback, you know, post live, basically. So that's really awesome. But okay, so talking about math, let's talk a little bit more about that in regards of potential in the game. Because obviously the bonus round is where you want to go, like that's the biggest potential. But I want to believe that you're going to have a really good time in the base game as well, because the double max is extremely exciting, because you're chasing the high multipliers. You know, every win you get increased multipliers, and then you also have the giga blocks, right? So creating even bigger cascades. But so I guess the question here, what I'm really asking is it true that you have a, you know, a big potential in the base game as well? So it's not only in the bonus round.
Yeah, people that play our games will know that the base game wins are often as exciting as the bonus rounds. We don't want it to be that you have a really bland base game and the bonus rounds where everything is, especially in lots of markets now where the spin speed's slightly slower, there's no autoplay, there's no bonus buy. We want to make our game accessible and enjoyable for all players. So there is lots of kind of big wins sprinkled into that base game as well. Like you said, via the multiplier and also the double max. Like you just saw in that little gameplay session there, we had a pretty spicy multiplier just sat there, and that can happen at any time. So it's very exciting for the player. But then, like you said as well, when you get into that bonus, that's where things really ramp up and where you can get some even bigger wins. So I think players should really enjoy this game.
Yeah, and I think like that's really the strong suit of the double max, because you have such an interesting base game, and I think that's what really makes it successful in that sense. Because I mean, the trend generally is, you know, we're seeing shorter session times from the players. We're seeing, you know, this kind of, I'm not going to say attention deficit, but we're going in that direction where, you know, players, you know, want to have access to interesting stuff in the base game, and I think this game in particular really captures that, while also being a volatile baby, as you said. I really like that phrase, volatile baby, in the sense that, you know, you have a 300 plus, around 300 hit frequency of the bonus round, you know, so you really have to farm it out. Or you can do the golden bet, which is a really good option to kind of cut that the spins down, or you can do the buy bonus, which is available in the game where allowed, you know, in markets where it's allowed. So I mean, I just think that this game really is something for a lot of players. Like, a lot of players can really come in here and have a really good time. So yeah, I'm looking forward to playing this game. It's a really good one, like always. And I also have to mention, I really like the way that what you mentioned there with the cascades, with the winning cascades, that you kind of put emphasis, like, you know, just what is actually going on, what is the total win of the cascade. You know, you mentioned it several times, and I like that you're true to your own brand here. You mentioned for the player, you know, information for the player.
We always think about the player. It's really people think it's cheesy, but basically we always go back to what's the player like. And we play games ourselves, and things that we find frustrating, we go, right, let's make a note of that and make sure that when we do a game like that, it won't have that pain point. Because we want the players to have the best experience in the game. Well, like we said, we're for the player, so
yeah. Exactly.
And
I think that's the backbone of your massive success and why you're so popular, because you really have the player spirit in development, the way you talk, the way you walk, you know, everything is there, you know, it's perfect. So big kudos super awesome game, and thank you so much, Henry, for featuring in the Roadshow again.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and surely I will see you again very, very soon.
Great. Thanks, guys.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, welcome back to the Roadshow. Frank McPolin himself. How are you doing, Frank?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm really good. Can't be bad on a Friday and
Good.
the day of recording, so to say. So
Yeah.
very, very nice to talk to you again, and I am looking forward to checking out another banging release from Bang Bang. It looks like you're tuning in from Rome.
Central Rome, indeed. We've been transported back in history to the Roman Empire, and Nero in particular.
Oh, Nero. Okay, yes.
Nero, that's the guy. Yeah, I mean, like, you know, you've got to pick a Caesar, haven't you? And we picked Nero. He's got his nice little loot there and all that sort of thing. So, but yeah, so Romans, which, as the title may give you the clue, it's about walking wilds is the key feature to this game, hence why they're roaming across the reels. And it's another Ultra Nudge game, and actually it's going to be, I think, if I look at the roadmap, I think it's our last one with you guys for about a year or so. So make the most of this one. We've got a good fishing game coming up towards the end of the year, and then we're doing a couple of games with your amazing mechanics to the start of next year, which we'll no doubt cover on a future show. But so yeah, this is going to be the last Ultra Nudge game for a little while. And as you say, hopefully we're going out on a banger here. So should we get into it, and we'll just sort of talk it through as we go?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's look at some gameplay. Definitely.
Okay. So yeah, so this game, like I said a minute ago, it's Ultra Nudge. It's the main feature to it is the walking wilds. We've obviously got our usual Ultra Nudge character. He's just stacked on the reels, and he's going to be producing plenty of nudging action throughout regular spins. But then we've got another wild, which is our Caesar character, and he'll land on any of the reels with a multiplier, and then on every spin or nudge, he's going to move from the right to left. And what he does is as he moves, he's going to increase his multiplier by 2. So in the base game, he starts on ×2. And yeah, so if he lands on the 5th reel, by the time he makes it over to the front reel, he's on a ×10 multiplier. So the game has also got some free spins. Oh, we just landed a really nice set of nudges there, actually. So that's a really good example about what our Centurion character is going to do for you. And you'll see there that he's he's just once you get him started, we've got 2 really nice stacks there. Once he's off screen, they'll continue with the wins, but it's him that triggers the Ultra Nudge. And in fact, Caesar will trigger an Ultra Nudge as well in this game. So both of the characters will do. But yeah, so Caesar himself can expand. So Caesar can land either as a single or as an expanded version. Here, he's just landed on reel 5, and you'll see that we teased him in as an expanded version. And we got it in action here, exactly what I was saying, where he's increasing by 2 on every move. So we've got this beautiful big expanded wild that's beautifully animated by the team. Really happy with what the studio have done there. And we're already over at ×8. And he's walking his way across there, producing a couple of big wins on the way. So, more than one of these can land at a time, and that's really where the chase is. We're looking at either combining the expanded wilds or the single wilds, or Caesar with the Centurion, or anything like that. But of course, where the really big wins are, that's going to be with more than one Caesar on the screen. So we've got a buy bonus in here, where we've got normal buys or super buy. So let me go into the super buy for you, and I'll talk about the other enhanced betting options a little bit later on. So when you go for super buy, you have essentially won the gamble, which we haven't shown here, but I'll cover that in a little bit later, whereby Caesar is going to start on ×4, and all of his movement multipliers are doubled. So he's moving by ×4 every time he increasing by ×4 every time he moves here. So we can see we've just landed him as a single. This guy hasn't decided to expand, but the beauty of free spins here is that the Caesar multiplier isn't going to reset. So we can see we've landed him twice here. We haven't actually got any amazing results yet, but we're already up at times 24 here and growing. So this is going to be a lovely win here. So you know, it's times 24 on the wins that go through him, by the way. So it's not like a total win multiplier on the entire result. So as you can see in 3 spins, I mean, you know, what we're already sort of just about halfway through. And Caesar is already up at nearly times 30 here. So, and this is a good result here, landing more than one of them. Like I said earlier, that's a really good chase. And it's where typically you're going to now start really crossing your fingers that one or more of these guys are going to turn into expanded version. That can happen on any nudge or movement, basically. It's not like they start expanded. You know, they can come in as a single, and on any given move, they can expand. So, what are we on here? So, a couple of spins to go, times 40. You know, we're really looking here that we're going to hope something amazing happens, but we can see that this is where the chase is here. So, times 40. Oh, right. So, this is a good feature to tell you about. So, in order to not sort of shortchange the player here, we never end the free spins when there's a Caesar still in play. Okay, so even though you bought 15 free spins there, you will get extra spins while there's still a Caesar on the board at the end of free spins, just so that you can see that through to the end. And here we can see we just landed another one on our extra spin. So we're going to keep getting extra spins. And look, already this makes a difference. These are like 3 or 4 extra spins we've had at the end here, and now we're up to time 60. So, you know, from a player's perspective, if we land a couple of good ones now, this game could go mad. Of course, during the recording, we have not managed to do that. But that's where the potential is, really. You know, we're sitting on really high Caesar multiplier towards the end. And, you know, you've got that real crescendo feeling at the end of the bonus about, you know, what's going to happen and whether you're going to have that mega result come in on the last 2 or 3 spins. So that's the game, and that is, you know, pretty much all the features. We've got a couple of enhanced betting mechanics there that we haven't shown. One is the regular buy bonus, and that is priced at 100x, and you have the opportunity there to go into the feature gamble, where you can gamble to get those double multipliers, and then via normal free spins as well, you get that gamble if you've got that enabled for your jurisdiction. So you can get that either through a regular free spins win or through the normal buy bonus. And then the other thing we've got is what we call our bonus boost, which is essentially your anti-bet, and that is a 50% premium, and that's going to pretty much double your chances of hitting those free spins. So there it is, Roman's Ultra Nudge. It's got a beautiful job by the studio. You know, it's got that really nice sort of semi-cartoony feel about it. Animations, really good background animations. You know, the audio. You know, the game has got, from my perspective, the game's got a really nice level of polish. The potential is there. It's got like a 8,500 X max win, and you've seen, like I say, you know, on a different set of results at the end of that buy bonus there. You know, we could quite comfortably have sailed past 1,000x with the bases loaded like that on a big Caesar multiplier value. So yeah, there it is. Let me know what you think.
Awesome stuff. Thank you so much for that presentation, Frank. And I do agree with you. It's a very, very high polished game. Super good looking. Caesar character, big nose, like it's just perfect. Like it just works perfectly.
Indeed, and I love that. I love what they've done there with, like, you know, getting the guy into his chariot to do the expanded walking and stuff like that, with all the, and like, you know, when you hear the audio as well, you know, it's got all of the fanfares and everything like that. You know, it's a great looking game for sure.
Yeah, 100%. And also, like, I have to say the name is genius as well. Obviously it's Rome, but when you say it, roaming romance.
Yeah,
you know.
Well, it's one of those things. Yeah, it made it onto the shortlist, but of course, you know, as soon as you say it, you're like, there was really no change in our mind once somebody had popped that out and said Romans. Is like, oh, it's perfect. You know, what with the walking wilds and the play on words, it's just it's good for a laugh, that name, that's for sure. And that's what we wanted. You know, it's quite a humorous game. All the the caricatures in it, you're right, you know, and the cartoon style meant we really wanted to sort of, you know, give it a little bit of light-heart and a bit of comedy to it. So
Yeah, definitely. I think you did really well. But okay, so was that kind of a coincidence then that you ended up with this theme? You have the, you know, the title, kind of the play on words here. Was that kind of like something you thought about from the start? Like, okay, like to put everything together. Like, if you could just walk us through a bit of like the work you had with the theme, you know, weaving into with the mechanics and everything. Like, was it coincidence?
sure, I
Did you
mean,
plan it out from the start?
no, I mean, you know, as I think I probably said on previous shows, you know, from our point of view, the games all start from just doing the maths modeling, right, and getting some prototypes, and you know, they're very, very basic. There's no graphics in them. They're all just text and numbers that come out of a sort of a math prototype. And you know what we did know is, as you know, this is probably, oh god, you're going to put me on the spot now, but I'm going to say it. So maybe our fourth or fifth Ultra Nudge game. Can't quite remember off the top of my head, but of course, you know, we knew we wanted to do an Ultra Nudge game, but then you know where the experimentation comes from is trying to figure out what new twist can we put on it, what mechanic is going to work really well with the nudging, and we knew sort of, you know, that one of the things we were going to play with here was going to be the Walking Wilds, because you know it's a super popular mechanic with players, and it's got a natural dovetail with nudging, I think, and so we were playing around with that, and you know, then we have a few sort of volatility points to sort of iron out, and you know, you kind of then fine tune into the actual, you know, how is this going to work? We knew the concept of it was going to work well, but then it's a case of balancing out the volatility, and you know, we had a lot of internal discussion about whether Caesar should just bump himself by one multiplier when he moves. And to give you a bit of a lower volatility game. And look, you know, there's a strong argument for that, but you know, the decision makers at Bang Bang really like a volatile game, and so I got my way. But yeah, you know, you bump him up by ×2, and it's not only the effect that he has on that base game, it's about setting that potential through free spins, and so you know, that's what I really wanted. I wanted that feeling of a player knowing that they're only 1 or 2 results away from a mega win, rather than sort of, you know, eking out 25-30x on a free spins session, which it's not where we've been so far. And you know, we may look at dialing down volatility in some of our future games. I don't want to give anything away there, but you know, this one, it just felt like a better game when we were playing the prototype, when it was a little bit more volatile. So and then in terms of the theme, I mean, it's actually, you know, it's not rocket science. We knew that we haven't got a Roman game in the portfolio, and you know, we know how popular they are with players. You know, we've ticked the box with pirates, we've ticked the box with an Irish game, and so we wanted to get a Roman game into the roadmap. But of course, we didn't want to just do those sort of photorealistic Colosseum like style games, because even when we pick a popular theme, we always want to try and bring something into it that nobody's seen before. That's like what we did with Shadow Raiders, where we went with zombie pirates instead of regular pirates, and it's what we tried to do here by putting sort of, you know, a design into a Roman game that, you know, I think you go a long way to find anything that looks like this. So you know, that's really where it just stemmed from, and then it's just a case of letting the art director and the artists go crazy with it and see what comes back. So
yeah, that sounds awesome there. I mean, you mentioned a lot. Was going to be my next question here, to talk about the math and the potential, but I think you pretty much covered that already. You read my mind. You knew what I was going to ask somehow.
Well, it's not my first time on the show, is it? So.
No, you know where I was going. No, but I think that's a genius move there. You know, to make it slightly more volatile, to get that extra in there. You know, with the Caesar. So I mean, that's super good. I mean, both for the base game potential, but also for the really high potential in the bonus round, right?
Exactly. Look, it's one of those decisions that, as a game designer, you know, you like when you're not involved in this side of the fence, if you like, you know, it's interesting to hear about that sort of thing, because, you know, it makes a big difference. It's going to make a big difference, and ultimately, you've just got to come down on one side of the fence to the other and say, do we make it a not very volatile game, or do we ramp it up a bit? And in this case, you know, it just felt that with the nudging and the multiplier fact that, you know, we just basically I mean, I was going to say we tossed a coin, but we didn't really, because I kind of was always lobbying for it to go the volatile way. So, you know, if we get that wrong, then on my head be it. But we haven't so far, so you know, it's a good sign.
It's a good sign. No, absolutely. Like this game is, I'm surely like it's gonna be a really good one. So let me ask you this: is it gonna be your best game yet?
Is it going to be our best game yet? Well, of course.
Putting you on the spot.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. You could ask me that about any game that's a week from the release date, and I will always say yes. Come back and ask me in a month.
Okay, so the answer is yes.
Yes.
This is your best game yet.
Best game yet, 100%. Yeah.
Exactly.
Please, everyone, launch it.
So if operators, listen up. If you haven't added this game to your roadmap just yet, ferociously add it to your roadmap right now. It's gonna be the best game that ever came out of Bang Bang. So don't miss out.
Oh, God,
Frank promises
now,
you, and you can have his head if that's not true. No,
better be now, isn't it? Yeah.
Okay, but just to wrap it up here, the different ways of betting, you did mention it, but there is the anti-bet, the super bet, the 50% stake towards a 50% increased chance of the bonus.
Exactly.
And there's also the buy bonus, and the buy bonus is either 100 times your stake or 300 times your stake.
Or 300, and when you buy the mega buy bonus, then you get the you get 15 spins, and you automatically get the higher multiplier increases. Yeah.
Awesome.
And so that's where the videos, all the big win videos, I think, that will be like flooding YouTube in the next few weeks.
Yep.
They'll all be from the super buy bonus, I would think.
Yeah. That's where the magic happens. We're allowed, of course, but also you always get you get to choose the gamble feature, right, when you enter the bonus, whichever way.
Indeed, yeah. If you are allowed to enable it, of course, in your jurisdiction, then you get that option, and from the normal buy bonus as well. Yeah. So.
All the bonus you can gamble, making it extra spicy, and I will let that be the closing. Those be the closing words. So thank you so much for joining us here on the Roadshow once again, Frank. It's
my pleasure as always.
Always a pleasure to have you here. Good fun.